breaking point for communities. And that's why we have a statutory minimum population requirement. Obviously, it doesn't make sense to impose a burden like this on a small district with a small tax base because the ensuing disruption would overpower potential benefits. In Gloucester, the charter school applicants used a 9-year-old census figure that just barely puts us over the 30K breaking point. But 2 more up-to-date surveys conducted by the American Community Survey and the Gloucester City Clerk's Office show a population that is considerably less than 30,000. Now, regardless of the exact current figure, and it's probably around 28,000, no one can argue that Gloucester's population is safely above the breaking point. And this argument was made repeatedly in letters to the Commissioner and in comments made at the public hearing here in Gloucester. You would think then that with this issue brought to light, those responsible for granting charters would have been extra careful when considering the Gloucester proposal. Anytime you approach a breaking point or a tipping point, you pay extra attention, right? You become more diligent. But due diligence was not done here. The Commissioner and the Chair of the Board of Education appear to have prejudged and rubber-stamped this questionable proposal. There was little interest shown in hearing community concerns. The do not recommend conclusion of the state's charter school office was buried, and deliberation between voting members of the board was cut short. And now the state is poised to spend $5.3 million on a flawed project. And the people of Gloucester, all 28,000 of us, will soon inherit a burdensome, unnecessary expense. So much for due process. Thank you.
Thank you. Next to hear from Pamela Schwartz.
Hello, my name is Pamela Schwartz, and my family came here in 1692. So I do have a long history with the Gloucester schools. I have had my children in the schools, my grandchildren, and I'm concerned about my grandchildren. The comment or question I want to ask this board is, this process was obviously not followed, and it's flawed, giving me no credence for the process. How can I trust that in 2010 the figures will be accurately recorded, whether this school will go forward or not? How can I trust that the figures in 2013 will be accurate? Because a 2 or 3% increase or decrease to the Gloucester school budget may seem small, but we're hanging on by our teeth, and this ship's going to sink, and 2 or 3% could do it. So I want to know that the information that comes out in the future is going to be an awful lot more accurate than what I've heard so far and tonight. And I don't want to hear excuses of the adding machine broke. We need to know the truth, and we need to know accurately the truth, and that's what I hope this board has the ability to take care of. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next we'll hear from Simon Paddock, followed by Ellen Sibley, Bo Abrams, Beth Morris, and Kathy Clancy. So is Simon still here? He is not, so we will hear from Ellen Sibley.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight because, well, my name is Ellen Sibley, and I'm a principal here in Gloucester at the Beeman School. And in December, I had wanted to speak because I wanted to tell you about my innovative and creative and dedicated teachers and my accomplished and talented students and my hardworking and supportive parents. I also wanted to refute the claim in the proposal by the charter school that in Gloucester we shun creativity. I wanted to tell you about the creative and innovative approach that teachers and students took at my school to teach environmental education to our community. It was a program called Living Blue, and it recently received high honors from the state of Massachusetts Office of Environmental Education. I wanted to tell you all of those things, but I couldn't because there wasn't time. We've talked a lot tonight about the process, and I wanted to talk a little bit about our process here in Gloucester. Another thing that we discussed tonight is change. And I would tell you that there isn't anyone who understands change better than the people of Gloucester, because since the budget shortfalls of 2002, we've had nothing but change. And we've worked very, very hard to manage that change effectively. Excuse me. And that has been done by the process that we've used, which has been teachers, parents, administrators, school committee members, and other members of the community working shoulder to shoulder at the numerous school committee meetings, site council meetings, PTO meetings, and other community events to help the Gloucester Public Schools move forward. And someone mentioned this evening that the charter would add value to our community. And I would like to say to you that what has added value to our community is this process of all of the community members working together to foster a very positive change. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bo Abrams.
Hi, thank you for coming. Thank you for staying so long. My name is Bo Abrams, and I'm an experiential educator and an admittedly strong proponent of art in education. And on this basis, I was invited to be a member of the founding of the Arts Charter School. I was initially excited by the opportunities that an alternative school might offer Gloucester, and during this time, I signed that petition in question, and I encouraged other people to sign. But since that time, the process of exploring how the school would fit into Gloucester has really concerned me. The financial implications of how a charter school would impact our community were not considered important in the process, and we heard that very clearly tonight, that that wasn't relevant, and yet it's incredibly relevant. It is short-sighted, if not downright irresponsible, to decide for alternative education without factoring in the financial impact that it will have on the entire community. I can't imagine how I would send my one child to the Arts Charter School in favor of my other child to the public school, the one child getting a richer education, the one child getting a smaller classroom size, the one child getting a place where they can advocate within the community in a different way, and then having a larger classroom size for my other child. I don't want to have to choose between the two, and that's what we would have to do. It's a Sophie's choice. It's terribly discouraging to me that the Gloucester Arts Charter School was granted given the numerous flaws in the process. Please know that there are many people like me who did sign the petition, who did originally support the charter school, who found that it was not unique enough to risk the financial impact, and that people like myself were not able to withdraw support in an official way. I am heartened by your presence here tonight. Please review the way the charter schools are granted, not just for Gloucester, but for all of Massachusetts. It's really important. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next is Beth Morris, followed by Kathy Clancy.
Thank you all for being here tonight, for listening to us, and for learning, which I think is very important. My name is Beth Morris. I'm a parent of 2 Gloucester high school students. The legislature controls the Commonwealth's purse strings, and you have certainly had a time of it recently. Plummeting revenues combined with rising costs have forced you to cut nearly across the board, and to entertain options for increasing revenue, like a 25% increase in the state sales tax, that would clearly have been unheard of in better times. This is the backdrop as we approach the issue of funding a new charter school. Starting a charter school is a serious undertaking, even in the best of times. It is a state-level intervention in a local school district, one in which the state